He got cancer when he was 18. He was very upset. He was in the hospital, said that they thought he had cancer. He was kind of crying, he was talking fast, he was confused. I did some tests and it confirmed that he had testicular cancer.
Cancer is never natural, but to have it at a young adult age when you're really trying to establish yourself financially, socially, you're trying to find out who you are. There's a lot of changes going on physically, mentally, lifestyle choices, and to get cancer sort of puts a stop to all those things. And Bryan was exactly that. He was at a point in his life where he was just moving out of the house and he was just beginning to get his own jobs and really find himself and where he was going to go and get his direction. He got cancer and it all changed.
Professional kayaker Brad Ludden founded First Ascents, a kayaking camp for young adults with cancer.
My career as a kayaker has very much paralleled a week at camp for a camper, and that I started out and I was interested in it, and then I actually became so afraid of it that I quit. Getting back in the kayak was the most influential decision of my life, and by far the best decision I've ever made.
This week-long camp uses kayaking and other activities to help campers face challenges and overcome obstacles that come with living with cancer. Brad is determined to keep this camp free for anyone who wants to come, providing equipment, instruction, and accommodations, with a future goal of 1,000 campers a year, nationally and internationally.
It's that breaking point and then living through that and coming out the other side of that. That's what kayaking is. And I think that, Bryan, coming to camp in his own ways, faced a lot of those fears and overcame them and came out on the backside. He was a more whole person in the end, and it was pretty awesome to see and to be a part of that experience and that transformation, and to be his friend throughout that and beyond that was a pleasure for me.
Even when Bryan's cancer spread to his brain and lungs, he was still determined to be a part of First Ascents. Bryan's parents, Judy and Matthew, said the cancer did not define him. He lived for being outside and finding humor in hard situations.
He really was for First Ascents, and he told me one time that, he says, "Dad, I think that God is making me go through all this stuff." And I go, "Well, what stuff are you talking about?" He says, "Well, all the chemo and all the treatments and the stem cell transplant and all this." And he says, "I think he's making me do all this so that when I go to camp as a counselor and there's campers there that are asking, or going into doing that thing, that I can tell them what it's like and that they can make it through because I did it."
He just talked about how cool it was to finally master that skill, to learn to kayak and to be, alone in that boat. And First Ascents was what he wanted to eventually do and be a part of and participate in.
Bryan beat the doctor's timelines and fought through paralysis, but eventually Bryan lost his life to cancer.
Tell us, if Bryan were here with you right now, what would you tell him?
What would I tell him? He'd probably tell me some things. If Bryan were here right now, I'd probably just tell him, I don't know, hopefully what I told him when he was here. And just, I think how fortunate we
Oh, Bryan had major spirit. When it came to First Ascents and his challenges that he went through there and the challenge that he went through cancer, I'm sure that he would be telling them to rock on.
That, his friends would think that much about him and his life, and he was always smiling, and he was always just talking to people and making jokes, and he wanted to live.
I'm not just living in the sense that I'm getting through life. I'm living in the sense that I get to live life. owe that to them.